This magic box experiment came from the work of V.S. Ramachandran. I started thinking about Heather and how she couldn't remember how to feel her hands. So we set up a dummy situation where her assistant would put her left hand in front of Heather, and Heather would sort of hide her left hand in a box. And we draped something over her, so when she looked down, she perceived her left hand was Ebony's. And then I would touch each finger simultaneously so she could feel the sensation on her own hand, but she could witness that sensation happening on Ebony's hand as though it were her own. And once we identified her visual stimulus to a perception of sensation, we started to trick her brain into thinking that flat, healthy hand was hers. And from there, we had her go into some light meditation after we created this identification, and we played with, could Heather remember how to move her hands? After witnessing this identification and then witnessing Ebony move her thumb as though it were Heather's, see that light wiggle? And then lightly wiggling her index finger while Heather was watching it. So Heather now has a perception of both sensation and motion. And watch what happens. See if you can move these. I mean, remember what we just did and what you saw. You saw this. You saw this. You saw this on straight fingers. You saw this. You saw this. And you saw each finger move one at a time.
Here's my thumb finally.
What are you doing to move that?
I'm just mapping, but I just had a really hard time for a second there.
Were you going to the map you created in your mind?
And
moving that thumb first? Okay. What color is the thumb in your mind?
Green.
And what is any texture or vibration of that green?
What's the texture and the vibration?
Does it have a texture? Does it have a vibration?
It's like super smooth and calm.
And can that pour down your neck and down your right arm all the way into your right thumb? You moved it pretty good though.
The thumb, yeah, it was like going crazy for a second there, huh?
And that was voluntary?
And I was thinking of her thumb.
You were thinking of her thumb? Okay.
The way her thumb looked. I was thinking that braiding her hair.
Yes, good idea.
Would be so much easier.
Yes, you should do that.
Like right now?
Yeah. After playing with movement in her thumb, we decided that Heather could braid her assistant's hair, which she had never done, hasn't braided since before her accident over 10 years ago. And we thought dreadlocks would be great because they don't require super fine dexterity. They're nice and thick. And the key for Heather was that she wanted to distract herself by talking with me. And the more she spoke with me, the easier it was for her to braid the hair. For her, it seems like distraction helps. And although she is using her wrists a lot, in her distracted phases, she is using thumb and forefinger quite a bit to get these braids done. We were all in shock, I think, at the end of this. Okay, so you just whipped out 3 braids, Heather. Seriously, you just whipped these 3 full-length braids out while you were talking to me. Holy, she just braided like 3.
Damn. That was pretty fast.
Heather.
Really fast. Next, we move on to Heather trying some finer dexterity with
twisting on and off different sized bottle caps. This was something, if you've watched part 1 and 2, you know she has not been able to do up to this point. We started working on this just a couple weeks ago, and she's getting the ability to twist. As you can see, she's twisting on and off. She hasn't quite been able to get the bottle top tight enough to get a grip. However, this day on this big bottle, she got it to grip. She's been practicing both left and right hands. And then we switched to a smaller bottle cap, and notice as she picks up this bottle cap, that takes a lot of motor skill to not be pinching so hard that the cap doesn't flip back out of your fingers. She's got a sense now of how to delicately hold that between thumb and index finger. And she does her best work when she is distracted and in conversation. So we spend a lot of time in conversation while she's doing these things. And if you notice right here, the dexterity and the control it takes to balance it between index and thumb, place it on top of the bottle and twist. So we are so happy that you're on this journey with us watching, and I hope to have a part 4 ready for you soon so you can join us in the celebration of Heather's progress.